Hi everyone! Today I'm going to share with you my note-taking strategy before class, during class, and after class. I also integrate my note-taking process with 4 powerful learning techniques. At the end of this video, I will walk you through a specific example and illustrate these tips one by one. If we look at the phrase take notes and break it down, we'll get the verb take and the noun notes. The verb take refers to the action such as writing or typing, and such action can help us concentrate, comprehend, and remember what we've heard or seen. Because our body is awake when we move our arms and hands. As for the noun note, the definition of note is a brief record of facts, topics, or thoughts written down as an aid to memory. When it comes to study notes, these facts and topics can be the main ideas, definitions, facts, examples, diagrams, and formulas, etc. Thus, we have 2 reasons to take notes. 1, it helps activate our body so that we can stay focused. 2, it generates a written record of what we've learned in class so that we can review it at a later point. For me, I use paper and pen for in-class notes, while I use my laptop for notes before class and after class. There is a reasoning behind it. Since you can't pause a lecture like a YouTube video, the in-class notes require you to write down everything as quickly as possible. Using paper and pen is just much more intuitive. However, when I prepare my before-class notes and after-class notes, I need the flexibility to add more notes later on and rearrange my notes as needed, as well as the searchability to quickly locate a keyword for my homework, quiz, or exam. A Word document can easily meet these 2 needs. There are many ways to take notes. It's helpful to try out different methods before you determine which one works best for you. But in today's video, I'm going to share the Cornell note-taking system because I feel this method works best for me. This is the standard size of Cornell note-taking template. But for me, I like using diagrams to help me summarize and memorize what I've learned. Thus, I make the summary section a bit bigger than the standard one. You can do the same if you want. In addition, you can also use different colors for different courses. The template is available for download. Feel free to check the description box below. I personally prefer blank paper over ruled paper or grid paper because I feel those lines create a prism for words, charts, diagrams, and formulas, and I want to set them free. Now let's take a closer look at the template. As you can see, it has 4 sections: the header at the top, the notes column on the right, the Q column on the left, and the summary column at the bottom. Section 1, 2, 3 are used during the class, and sections 3 and 4 are used after class. Yes, section 3 can be used both in class and after class. Section 1 is where you keep basic information such as the course name, the date of the lecture, the page number, and the chapter title. Section 2 is where you write down the detailed notes, such as definitions, facts, examples, formulas, charts, and graphs, etc. Section 3 can be used during the class. If you have any question, you can indicate it here. Other than that, you can also use this column to summarize main ideas and key points after class. Section 4 is where you sum up each page in your own words. You can also use visualizations such as diagrams or mind map to help you comprehend and memorize. The 4 learning techniques I use are the Feynman Method, make analogy and use metaphor, visualization, and interlink ideas. The Feynman Method requires you to explain a concept to a child in simple words. It begins with choosing a topic you just learned. Then pretend you need to explain it to a kid. After that, take some time to review your explanation and see whether anything sounds confusing. Once you pinpoint the gap, go back to your textbooks, notes, or PowerPoint to enhance your understanding. And the final step is rewrite your explanation in simple words. Professors like using analogy and metaphors when they need to explain complex or abstract concepts. A good metaphor has 2 qualities. 1, it is easy to understand. 2, it reflects the substance of the idea it models, not merely the details. You can check out Scott Young's Getting Started with Metaphor and Better Metaphors to learn more. Humans are visual creatures. Our brain processes visual impressions 60,000 faster than text. We not only remember more images than words, but also retain such visual information for a longer period. Thus, visual aids such as charts, diagrams, or even your sketches will help you grasp new knowledge much faster. Here are 8 words. You can pause the video for a second and see whether you can remember all of them. It can be hard if we don't find certain relationships among them. So the first thing we can do is group these words into 3. Then we'll create an interlink between each word within the group. For example, a tree with a hanging bucket is standing on green grass. A horse is chasing behind a cow. A young lady in white dress is wearing a straw hat. The linking technique enables us to build memorable associations of many seemingly unrelated items. Next, I'll use my federal tax class as an example and go over each tip with you. The first thing I do is I quickly skim the table of contents of the upcoming topic. This helps me get a big picture of what I'm going to learn. In addition, the table of contents inherently provides a clear hierarchy among different elements. For example, under types of taxes, it has 3 big categories, and under each category, you can find a specific tax. Then I'll create my before class notes using the same structure. If I see anything I don't quite understand, I will highlight it so that I know on which part I should spend more time when I read the textbook. I use black pens for most parts of my notes. For important information such as definitions, examples, or questions, I will use blue pens, purple pens, and red pens. Moreover, to accelerate my note-taking speed, I also use abbreviations and symbols, such as underlined D for definition, EX for example, and the question mark for anything I am confused with. You can create your own color coding and abbreviation system that makes you feel comfortable. You can also write down the legend on a post-it note to remind yourself when you take notes for different classes. In addition, I write down only keywords rather than complete sentences. For example, for the definition of text, I only write down 3 keywords, but I will complete its definition in my after-class notes. In this video, I'm using a ruler to draw charts for illustration purpose, but I personally try to avoid using rulers during the lecture for 2 reasons. First, most of my courses don't require precise drawing. Second, I feel when I'm using a ruler, I will inevitably focus on whether I draw a perfect line, which will distract me from following what the professor is saying. But if your major is in engineering, design, or architecture, etc., or you just can't stand crooked line, then feel free to use a ruler. When the class is over, I will quickly scan the key points column and look for any question mark I have so that I can ask the professor during the break. Then I usually take a few minutes to quickly fill in any parts I missed during the lecture. I try to get back to my lecture notes on the same day when my memory is still fresh. The first thing I'll do is reading over my notes. Then I'll identify main ideas and key points in the Q column and use them as hints to record relevant learning points. After that, I will briefly summarize each page and try to come up with a mind map to visualize different components and their relationships. After I'm done with my lecture notes, I'm going to transfer my notes to my laptop. The electronic version makes it much easier to put everything in complete sentences. This will be very helpful when it comes to homework or preparing for an exam. At the end of each chapter, to force myself to use the 4 learning techniques, I created a special section. If you just get started, you can practice one technique at a time until you get comfortable with all of them. So this is how my notes look like for chapter 1. For chapter 2, I'll repeat the same process and keep everything in one single file. This way, I can easily locate a keyword by just hitting Ctrl F. A bonus tip is that I use Anki to improve my weakest points. Anki is a digital flashcard that can greatly help you record and memorize your study material. If you are interested in how to use Anki, I can make a video on that. So this is it for how I take notes and the 4 learning techniques I use most of the time. I hope it can help you figure out what works best for you and build up your own note-taking system. And if you have any other tips or questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching and see you soon with my next video.